Don't let your mistakes or successes define you. You're more valuable than that. From person to person, we all have things that define us, whether that be maybe like our height, our weight, our successes, our degrees, diplomas, our mistakes, our failures, and even awards. There's so many things in this life that we let define us. The problem with that, if you have a lack of those defining characteristics for yourself, perspective on yourself can be much lower as to someone who has an abundance, and vice versa. If you're someone who has an abundance of those defining factors, if something were to happen to where they all disappear or you're left with nothing, what's left to define you at that point? In this walk in life, it's very important to know that we are defined before we achieve any kind of success or we experience any kind of mistake or failure. God defined us before the world had the opportunity to define us. In the beginning, in Genesis chapter 1, God created the entire world, from the water, from the land, to the birds, to all the way to us. God created everything. And the one defining factor that God used to define those things is good. In Genesis chapter 1, verses 31, it says that God saw all that he had made, and it was very good. And there was evening and there was morning, the sixth day. The number one word that I want you to focus on in this verse is good. God saw all that he had made after he had made it on the sixth day, and he called it good. Before you were born into this world and before you achieved any success, before you achieved your college diploma, before you got the big paycheck at your job, before the divorce, before every shortcoming or failure that you've ever experienced, those do not define you. God defines you as good. And if we also look at Isaiah chapter 43, verse 4, it says, "Since you are precious and honored in my sight, and because I love you, I will give people in exchange for you, nations in exchange for your life." Two words I want you to focus on here is precious and honored. God not only sees us as good, but he sees us as precious and honored. In life, whenever we experience these successes and mistakes, we can allow those to define us as our overall character. And please do not do that. Yes, it may be going on in the physical at that natural moment, but do not let something that's happening in your life define who you are as a person. God defined you before you were brought into this world as good, precious, and honored. You are valuable in God's sight. Whenever you're going out in this world, whenever you're going to your jobs, to your school, whenever you're going out into these places, do not let experiences that you find yourself in define you, because God has already defined you before you experience anything in this world. What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Dame, going on strong, video number 4, and I hope you guys enjoyed that message. The overall key point to know is that you are defined by God. Do not let your current situations, whether good or bad, define you in this life. It can be very hard to, but whenever we do that, we can find ourselves in very low places. We can also find ourselves at very high places. But it's important to know who defines you and where your definition comes from. So that way, whenever you go out into this world, that you'll be prepared for whatever high or whatever low that you experience. But I hope you guys have a good one. If you have any questions for your boy, leave them down in the comments, and I'll catch you guys on the next one, man. Go get yours. Bah!